Hi everyone, and let me welcome you on my brand new YouTube channel. I am Nicolette and I'm glad to have you around. As a first video, I thought I'm gonna do a build. It's gonna be a Japanese style house. There is a reason why I went with Japanese style. It is actually I'm looking to get into a gameplay, and therefore I'm gonna need to set up a whole Japanese village. So what I've done until now, but you can see that I already started to build up the house, but actually I cleared off whole Brindleton Bay. So I'm gonna have to replace every single house in Brindleton Bay with some Japanese style, but I thought Brindleton Bay's biome would make it as a Japanese biome. So yeah, that's the very first house which I've started with. It's an Engawa style. This is the one where you have a balcony outside, a terrace where you can walk between the rooms. So it isn't definitely not the European style where you have the hallway inside, but it's the hallway outside. So throughout the video you're gonna see that here I'm gonna start to style the house and add little details. Also with the walls I had a little struggle because these houses usually come with two different colors on the wall, and therefore I had to add an extra story on the top. Even these houses should be like quite flat, to be honest, but you're gonna see that I had some ideas to add and remove, but in the end I was quite happy how the house turned out. So how this channel came, or how this video came, to be honest with you, I had it in my mind for quite a long time. I'm following Clashy One on YouTube for over a year now, and I love her style. And I was thinking that I wrote a book which is not in English, it's in Hungarian. And even though I do speak English, but it would be really difficult for me to translate the whole book and make it easy readable book. So I was thinking about this idea for years and years and years. And as of how I mentioned Claire Chivon, she started to do a gameplay where she is actually carrying on with babies. She's carrying on with the storytelling, and that's where I had the idea. That's where it sparked. That I actually could tell you the story of my book through Sims, and how they added the expansion packs. Now I even have a little bit more features added where I can actually include quite a lot of things. However, the book itself would be a bit difficult to do because it is a story which is in nowadays, but there are a lot of things what they remember back on. So I thought, why not just to start the whole story from the beginning. So for the beginning I needed this whole Japanese village with older style houses. So that's why I picked this Engawa house as a first build. And as you can see now here, I'm adding the second story to have some rice paper. Even I was struggling with the walls to figure out what walls would make it, because this rice paper did not quite look as how the house looked on the photo. So I've just gone with that one, but later on I'm gonna change my mind. And as you can see that there is an extra story again added. I've added that because the roofs should have been on different layers, different levels, but I just could not figure out how to do it. But in the end, when I've checked the whole house, it was extremely tall, and these houses, they were not tall at all. Like, they had really high ceilings, which I managed to add because I have this second story, but they were not like a flat building or something like that. They were not that tall as I've managed to make it up in here. So the build itself, I was just googling all the Japanese style houses, like the original styles, not the ones which they build now, obviously. But this house is a traditional way of the Japanese buildings. That's where you can see that they have opened walls and they looking out to the Japanese gardens. That is the style. Although I read a book back in the day, and they actually had their house, like their bathroom was out in the garden, I believe, as far as I remember. Now in this house I've included the bathroom into the house. You will see once we get to the decorating part. So it is probably a different style from what they used to be. It could be that this is not that traditional, but that's the layout which I found on Google. So this is literally an architect layout which I've copied and then built the whole house around. I found quite a few photos, so I was trying to style the whole house to match those photos. And on here, as you can see, that the roofs are pretty detailed in Japan. So I've tried to add, I had some CC as well to decorate with them, but they just wouldn't go to the right place and they were not even the right color. So I just went with the EA stuff, made them a bit smaller. There is a lot of move object in this building, obviously, because you can't really get everything to the right place without using the move object. And I've already uploaded the house into my gallery, but bear in mind please that when I was decorating I used lots of CC in it. I haven't had a lot of Japanese, like traditional style CC before, but on one night I had nothing else to do, so I just went for a CC shopping, and finally I found quite a few CC creators who has done traditional Japanese things. So I'm gonna try to link a few of these websites below the video, but please be careful on those websites, because they use advertisements, etc. So it is just don't click anything other than downloading the CC. So here we get to the point where I'm adding all the windows and doors, obviously with rice paper. And I was trying to find out the right way how to make it open on the side, but I was just not quite happy with those windows, like half opened windows, because to the side I really wanted to have something fully open, but could not work it out for the first round. So I just went into the landscaping instead and left it as it is. On here again I had to make a few bits smaller, bigger, to match up items, and I just felt like usually I use the plants as they are, but in this designing you'll see that I almost had to make everything smaller, because my plot is quite small where I'm trying to decorate, and as a Japanese style landscape I had to add lots of bits and bobs, make it really neat, make it green and rockery. So I was working my way around the whole house, and I've added a small platform outside, which meant to be like the Zen garden, but then in the end I've ended up adding just a tea place, because it's a CC as well, and I'm not quite sure whether it works or not. And as I wanted to use the house in the future gameplay, I had to make sure that it is usable. But we'll see. I guess I have not managed to test it just yet, but we'll definitely jump into it as well. So on here I'm just tidying up the garden, add some rocks, added the water feature, because feng shui wise that you need to have this water feature. So yes, it's in a corner, don't forget about anything. And here we go back again how the windows should be. So I thought like, okay, let's add these windows, but the glass windows did not really match my idea. So then I had the other idea of just like opening up the side of, or like opening up the wall. But again, my trouble was with this, that even it looked okay, but because I'm going to use this house in a gameplay, then when the winter comes in, then probably all my sims will die. And on that point, I can right away stop the gameplay, so there was no point of leaving the house half open. So we're back again on to the planning, and finally I've ended up using the doors, like the sliding doors, which ones are see-through, and I'm hoping that they're gonna have the feeling of how it's supposed to look, and also like we're not gonna have the sims freezing to death. Also on here, like those small cells which you can see on in between the bedrooms, I've added them as they meant to be wardrobes. But then later on I found some great wardrobes which actually acted as a wall. So yeah, there was lots of replanning, and obviously I can't like copy the Google photo as it is, but it turned out like look-alike for me. So but let me know in the comments below how you feel, or if you would have any other ideas. I still have like quite a few houses to build. I'm not sure if I'm gonna build them all like free-handed. Usually what I tend to do, I usually go onto the gallery and hunt around, because as you can see that I do have building skills, but there are definitely a lot better builders on the gallery. So I usually tend to download the houses and just tweak them. So I am really hoping that I can find some bits and bobs. Especially I'm gonna need a temple as well, like a big Japanese temple, which is so detailed that it would take like hours and hours and hours to be able to build it. So I'm not quite sure whether I'm gonna jump into it, but let me know again in the comments below if you wanted me to give it a go. Then I can always try and see how it turns out. However, with the temple, though, you need to use the terrain tools, and I'm not quite confident with them, but we can always try. That's not a problem. So here I've started the decoration. Obviously I know that in these style of Japanese houses, the fireplace should be in like a little, like it is actually, yeah, it's a hole in the middle of the living room where they used to have the fireplace. But because I haven't had enough space for it, then I've just decided to use this like rustic look or antique look fireplace. And yeah, I don't know if you spot something is missing from my kitchen. Obviously it's not so authentic, but I had to add in a fridge as well. I'm gonna realize it in a minute or two. Although I was struggling with the living room furniture, I did not want it to add like a proper sofa. I just wanted to add some benches, but these benches are not quite authentic, but I had to go with them because they were the simplest ones. So yeah, adding all the features, details, and loads of plants, because again we are in a Japanese house, and I was tiling the inner part of the house as well, following a couple of Google photos which I've looked up. So I'm quite happy how it turned out, but I could have gone a bit even more authentic. But as you can see that I on some point I've tried to add like the normal sim, like EA creations, but they never quite matched what I wanted, so I've just ended up using mostly CCs within the whole building, or decorating, sorry. So yeah, here we go. Living room is done. Then I had to add something into the hallway, and here we go when I found these wardrobes. So I could have cancelled the walls which I built into the bedroom. I was glad with it because I want a teeny tiny bit more space, and in bedrooms, because of Sims how it works, sometimes your Sims can't walk around the beds, so I was quite glad to find. And yeah, here we go, we're spotting the missing stuff, a fridge. I was about to add this small fridge because at least it wouldn't look like really crazy. But because again it's a gameplay, I've decided to add a proper fridge in so they can cook for sure with no troubles. Now with the bedrooms, I am not entirely sure about these beds which I've added. I'm gonna try to look up if I can find better CCs to be added, because these are not so authentic beds, but I've just added them for the minute. They are futons anyway, so for the minute they will make it, but I might change them up in the future to have some more authentic thing. Like it would be just a futon mattress and not like proper beds, but I'm not sure whether there is any CC out. However, if you have any idea, or if you know about someone, please link me to that CC so I can change my beds. And bathroom wise, because I've ended up having two of them, so I've used one of them toilet plus shower, and into the other one I had a hot tub downloaded. It's a CC again. I don't know whether it will work, but it just looks so great, so all fingers crossed we're gonna see it once I've logged into the gameplay. But I'm really hoping for the best, because I just felt in love with that bath which I found. You're gonna see it in a second. With the shower, I added just like the shower head, because even nowadays in Japanese flats and houses, you wouldn't have like shower curtain, etc. They just have the shower head and the bathroom. So I was not quite worried about adding anything with shower curtains or such things. So as you can see, like, I love that bath. I wish I would have it in the real life as well. Like, I really do. And again, the whole way looks a bit empty for me from this angle now. But yeah, it's not that important part, I guess. That's very, you should kick off your shoes. I should have some like shoes CCs, I think, like slippers which you can put down, because obviously in Japan you should leave all your shoes and everything in the entry hall and not walking in onto the tatami floor. So I've added a few bits and bobs just to fill up the hole again, and then added some clutter around, because then it makes it more realistic, lived in, I think. And then as a final touch, I was thinking like what sort of additional bits I should add. Like you could see that I've added a violin, because I'm sure that in Japan lots of people used to play on different instruments. And then I've decided to add a chess table as well. However, I think they would possibly play Go or Mahjong, but we only have chess, so we go with the chess. And then here we go to the walkthrough. I had to cut a few bits. As I said, this is my very first video, and I'm sorry for my shaking hand when I was doing this walkthrough, but I'm hoping you can still see the style, how it turned out. There is the main feature wall, which all these Japanese houses used to have, where they can leave flowers and etc. to their gods. And that's the outside, and that's this balcony part where you can walk in between the rooms. So it's going to be still a struggle while it's winter and it's just snowing outside, because my Sims will be cold to go from one room to the other. But hey, that's how it was in the back days. Not even just in Japan, even in Europe, there were lots of houses where you can either walk through all the rooms or just on a balcony. So thank you for watching. Here we're gonna take a quick look on the baths and the other bathroom. But thank you to be here. If you are excited to watch more of my videos, then please hit subscribe, or if you like this one, then if you can hit a like, it would mean the world for me. Have a nice day and stay safe. Bye.